This is the CMOS. CMOS is short for complementary metal oxide semiconductor, which is the term usually used to describe the small amount of memory on a computer's motherboard that stores the BIOS settings. Some of these BIOS settings include the system time and date, as well as hardware settings. This is a CPU. The CPU is otherwise known as the Central Processing Unit. The CPU is the brains of the computer where most calculations take place. Two typical components of the CPU are the Arithmetic Logic Unit, otherwise known as the ALU, which performs arithmetic and logical operations. The other part is the Control Unit, otherwise known as the CU, which extracts instructions from memory and decodes and executes them, calling on the ALU when necessary. This is the hard drive. One form of a hard drive is a hard disk drive. They have platters that constantly spin while the computer is on, almost like a vinyl record player. HDDs are the most common and inexpensive form of a hard drive. Solid-state drives is the other version, and they have no moving parts and the data is stored in flash memory chips instead of metallic platters. SSD technology is faster than HDD and less prone to failure since there are no moving parts. Since SSDs are newer technology, they cost more per unit of storage than an HDD. This is the RAM, otherwise known as random access memory. RAM is volatile, which means it is lost when the power is removed. It's an extremely fast type of computer memory which temporarily stores all the information your computer needs right then and in the near future. This is a heatsink. A heatsink is a device that incorporates either a fan or some other means to keep a hot component, such as a processor, cooled down. There are two types of heatsinks, active and passive. Active heatsinks utilize the computer's power supply and may include a fan. Sometimes these types of heatsinks are referred to as an HSF, which is short for heatsink and fan. There are also liquid cooling systems which have become much more popular in the recent years. Passive heatsinks are those that have no mechanical components. Passive heatsinks are made of an aluminum finned radiator that dissipates heat through convection. For passive heatsinks to work to their full capacity, there should be a steady airflow moving across their fins. This is the DVD drive. An optical disc drive is a disc drive that uses laser light or electromagnetic waves within or near the visible light spectrum as part of the process of reading or writing data to or from optical discs. This is the GPU, otherwise known as the graphics card, a programmable logic chip specialized for display functions. The GPU renders images, animations, and video for the computer screen. GPUs are located on plugged cards in a chipset on the motherboard or in the same chip as the CPU.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Flashback Mary.